Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a stack of linguistics papers and learning guides you sent us, and they all circle around a wildly frustrating reality for language learners.
Yeah, a really common one.
Right, like picture this. You've studied English for a decade. You ace your written exams, and you can binge watch Netflix without any subtitles.
Which is a huge achievement, by the
Well,
way.
totally. But then, the second a native speaker looks right at you and asks a simple question like, how are you doing today? Your mind just completely goes blank.
You just freeze. I mean, instead of the witty, fluent response you know you're capable of, you just sputter out, I am fine, thank you.
Exactly. And if you're listening right now and nodding along, we want to be incredibly clear about something. You are not lazy, and you are definitely not stupid.
No, not at all. This is a nearly universal phenomenon among advanced learners. In the research, it's actually known as silent English, or sometimes they call it the active-passive language gap.
Right, so our goal today is to hand you the secret handbook to fix this. We're going to unpack the cognitive science behind that freeze response.
Yeah, and we'll translate all that dense academic psychology from your sources into plain, actionable strategies.
So let's start with the freeze itself. Because reading through these papers, it's obvious this isn't a grammar issue at all, is it?
No, it's really not. It's entirely a psychological one.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like having this hypercritical grammar teacher living in your head, grading your every word in real time.
That is a perfect analogy. Or, mechanically, it's like trying to type an email while a pop-up spell checker freezes your screen after every single keystroke.
Ugh, that sounds exhausting. You get so bogged down in the micromechanics of accuracy that your entire operating system just crashes. So what is the cognitive psychology behind this?
Well, in cognitive psychology, that inner pop-up spell checker is actually called the monitor.
The monitor, okay.
Right. And when you try to speak, it feels like you were practicing in public, which triggers what they call foreign language anxiety.
So your brain goes into overdrive, terrified of making a mistake.
Exactly. This obsession with constant internal grammar checking destroys your automaticity.
Automaticity.
Yeah, it's basically the magical ability to do things naturally without consciously occupying your mind with the low-level mechanics of the task.
Which, I mean, completely misses the point of talking in the first place. Native speakers really don't care if you use the wrong verb tense.
They really don't.
Right. They aren't grading you. They just want to understand your message.
Oh, yeah.
The goal is connection, not perfection.
That is such a crucial mindset shift. But, quieting that inner critic is really only half the battle.
What do you mean?
Well, even if you manage to completely eliminate that anxiety, you still can't speak if the words aren't readily available in your brain. That brings us to how you're actually practicing.
Wait, hold on. This kind of contradicts standard advice. I've always been told that immersing yourself in English movies is like the gold standard for fluency.
Right, the whole just relax and absorb it idea.
Yeah. Exactly. We're told to just watch Netflix and soak it in. Why doesn't that fix the speaking gap?
Because it all comes down to the mechanics of human memory. You have to look at the massive difference between passive and active vocabulary.
Okay, break that down for us.
So, you are already an amazing consumer of English. When you watch a movie, you are training your passive vocabulary. Those are the words you can easily recognize and process when someone else produces them.
Oh, I see. But recognizing a word isn't the same as being able to reach into your brain, pull it out in a split second, and actually articulate it.
Exactly. That requires active vocabulary. Those are the words you can instantly retrieve and produce yourself.
So watching Netflix only trains you to be a passive consumer.
Yeah, it gives you zero training as an actor producer. To bridge that gap, you really have to shift your learning strategy.
Okay, so what is the actionable fix here?
Well, the linguistics research points heavily to a technique called shadowing.
Shadowing, like following someone around.
Sort of, but with audio. You listen to native speech and immediately mimic it out loud, speaking right over the audio.
Interesting. So you aren't just parroting a voice after they finish.
No, you do it simultaneously. Shadowing physically forces your brain's motor speech network to fire at the exact same time as your auditory processing.
Oh, wow. So it builds a literal bridge between passive listening and active vocalization.
Exactly. And your guides suggest pairing this with spaced repetition software, or SRS, to lock it in.
Right, SRS. Those algorithms test you on a specific phrase right at the exact moment you're about to forget it.
Yeah, and that productive struggle of forcing your brain to recall the word is what physically strengthens the neural pathway for instant retrieval.
You are basically training the muscle memory for speaking, converting that passive knowledge into active speech.
Spot on. So to stop being a silent observer, You have to quiet that inner monitor and actively practice producing the language.
That makes so much sense. Well, before we sign off, here's something to test during your next practice session.
Oh, I love a good experiment. What is it?
So, if true automaticity requires bypassing the over-analytical, hypercritical brain, what happens if you tie speaking to physical movement?
Oh, like pacing the room or using big expressive hand gestures while you shadow.
Exactly. Try it out. Does engaging your physical motor skills distract that inner monitor just enough to let your active vocabulary flow?
That is a fascinating idea to mull over.
Because remember, the ultimate goal isn't to satisfy the grammar teacher in your head. It's to confidently look someone in the eye and finally tell them exactly how you're doing today.